kuweza kumlazimisha ama kufanya chochote katika kutekeleza zile maamuzi za mahakama. Ndiposa tumesema kwamba zile maamuzi, kama angekuwa ni Chief Justice angesema kwamba zile ni hotea, haziwezi tekelezeka, na tutaelekea kwenye mahakama kuu kabisa, ile court of mahakama ya rufaa siku ya Jumatatu kuziondoa zile order zile.
Now, meanwhile, the National Assembly has approved Douglas Kanja as the new Inspector General of Police. The nominee will now await formal appointment by President William Ruto. Kanja, the career policeman who started from the bottom, also secured the Senate's green light to issue supreme commands to Kenya's police service. The Joint Committee of National Assembly Administration and Internal Security and Senate Internal Security, Defense and Foreign Relations earlier vetted and approved Kanja.
Honourable members, I now put the question, which is that taking into consideration the findings of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Affairs and the Senate Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations, in its report on the vetting of Mr. Douglas Kanja Kirocho for approval as the Inspector General of the National Police Service, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 17th September 2024, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 245(2)(a) of the Constitution and Section 12(1) of the National Police Service Act, Cap 84, and Section 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Mr. Douglas Kanja Kirocho as the Inspector General of the National Police Service. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? No. The ayes have it.
Now, crisis. Of course, now we welcome to the newspaper review. We'll kick it off with the Star newspaper, which will start as of now. Billions sink installed government projects spread across the country. They are yet to return any value for money to the taxpayer. Now, no more naming of roads and streets after living persons. That is a new bill being advocated for or being presented to the House. And then we have the Interior CS Kithure Kindiki, President William Ruto, during the launch of the strategic framework for the implementation of reforms in the National Police Service, Kenya Prison Service, and National Youth Service. That was yesterday. Then afterwards, we see Nyeri Town MP Duncan Mathenge, Tetu's Geoffrey Wandeto, Mathira's Eric Wamumbi, and President Ruto. And then Othaya MP Wambugu Wainaina, Senator Wahome Wamatinga, Kieni MP Wainaina Njoroge, and Mukurweini's John Kagoshia at State House Nairobi, where they discussed the government's road, stadia, fresh produce markets and water programs in the county. This was yesterday. Now, of course, this has not gone well, or this does not sit well with some of the Murimas folks, saying that this was Ruto going behind Gachagwa's back and trying to win the confidence of the mountain side. It is for you to believe what you want to believe. Now, 12-year-old pupil survived stray bullet during lesson in Rongai. Now, she was lucky, but the incident left her and classmates shaken. Grade 6 pupil was in class attending a maths lesson on Tuesday at a school in Rongai, Kajiado County, when a bullet suddenly hit her left hand. The bullet tore through the roof and disrupted the lesson, according to a teacher. Now, that story has been featured on The Star. And then we have how women in Mandera forest stole deadly clan clashes. It's a long-held stereotype that two men in northern Kenya are mistreated and not accorded respect, but it is a different narrative in Mandera. Now, also, what's next for IG as sentence takes effect on Friday? What will happen? Sentences take effect today. And then there is also a pending appeal to hearing on Tuesday. We do not know what is next, but the Star has done a great job at that. And at the back of the Star, Herculean task: can police overturn 1-0 Confederation Cup deficit against Zamalek in Cairo? All the best. Then we go to the Daily Nation. Now, at the very top, Koki Muli's fourth bid for IEBC job faces headwinds. Then how Raila used cabinet deal to settle ODM roles. Then, of course, at the very center of the Daily Nation, playing with our children's future, the education in a crisis. That's why I started by saying crisis, crisis, crisis. Junior secondary, public school students in grade 7 and 8 are finding it hard, are bearing the brunt of chaotic transition in the new CBC system. Then school fair tragedies, of course, we've seen this number and time again. Then the varsity fee changes, and then the wave of pay strikes. Indeed, education is in crisis. And at the bottom, junior starlets off to the World Cup. President William Ruto sports CS Kipchumba Murkomen and FKF boss Nick Mwendwa chat with members of the junior starlets football team yesterday at State House. The team will fly to Spain today for training ahead of next month's FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in the Dominican Republic. All the best to these amazing young ladies. Then Adani fights off cases in dispute over JKIA lease. From his side, Adani is saying it took 17 days just to have the matter disputed in court, the matter presented to Kenya, and for Kenya to give them or to assure them of the contract. 17 days. All right. Now, MPs approve Kanja to be new police boss, and then they condemn the abductions as well. That is a story at the back of the Daily Nation. President calls for a truce in the ongoing police-judiciary feud. This happened yesterday during the launch of the police reforms presented by the former CJ, Justice Maraga, and the team. So this, we also tackled it in the news bulletin section earlier on. Then finally, the Standard newspaper, varsities in a fine mess. Public universities have been limping from crisis to crisis, from insolvency to student funding crisis, said to be discriminatory, and now a strike by its workers over the remuneration. The institution's walls are hitting rock bottom. What must now be done to save the citadels of knowledge? The Standard newspaper. That is what the Standard newspaper is asking us. Fresh test for Ruto as IMF pushes for new tax policies. Then will this man end impunity? Will Kanja end impunity? That is the question on everybody's mind as Kanja is set to take up the mantle of the leader of the police. Wetangula's party won't fold for UDA. That is what is being written on the Standard newspaper. Then juvenile gangs terrorize Kwale and Mombasa. We have seen the arrests being made time without number. The new safety rules to lock farmers out of the market. Exploding device kills 15 in Lebanon. Actually, as of now, the number has risen to 20. And mushrooms founder Ted Kalanda is dead. Sad story, and a beautiful artist there. At the back, Arsenal focuses on Atalanta ahead of Man City showdown. I have nothing more to say to this other than it is Arsenal. Nothing less of a victory is what we are expecting. That marks the end of the newspaper review. I'll be having my guest with me, Nyakenyo Gathura, and will be here, founder of the ANS Maths Club. We also have Lillian, founder of Elimu. The two will be here to talk about what they're doing to innovate, to make studies more innovative, to make education more fun. And since both of them are mathematics enthusiasts, I'm sure this conversation is going to be one great conversation. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. See you in a few.